Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bolden. Thank you all for joining me. Let me start this video off by saying, number one, I apologize for the way it may look. I'm doing some readjusting of some things here. I'm also in the process of moving, so that's why you guys haven't heard from me or seen from me in the last week or so. As you can see in the back there, it's pretty bare. All my certificates are down because, as I said, I'm in the process of moving. Also, I'm trying to readjust some things here, trying to better my video quality. So right now, what you're seeing here is kind of like the coloring is a little off. So please forgive me for that. But I wanted to do this video. I had to do this video. It was imperative that I do this video. And what I'm talking about is the woke Gestapo, if you will. I think in Australia, wants to censor or ban Aretha Franklin's The Queen of Soul. They want to ban her song from 1968, A Natural Woman. Now, when I saw that on my Facebook page from a employee, i.e. supervisor, which he's probably watching this video, at first on my Facebook page, at first I thought it was a joke. I said, no, this is not real. But then it's real. It was real. I said, oh my God, I got to jump on this because I have a lot to say about this. But let's get right into this article. And also let me bring out too that the article that I'm about to read is an opinion piece by John Nolte. So it's going to come out as an opinion piece, okay? So this guy's going to be saying some things that maybe you guys, maybe somebody that's watching this video may be sensitive to, okay? Just know it's an opinion piece because when he's finished with his opinion, I'm going to give my opinion and you might not like my opinion. So, okay, so if you're sensitive, you might not want to listen to this video. But let's get right into this article. It just, this type of stuff, it just will not stop. It will not stop. These people will not give up. An article starts off, members of the transsexual movement want Aretha Franklin's 1968 hit Natural Woman banned. Standing for Women founder Kelly J. King told Australia's Sky News it's really hard to ignore the misogyny of the trans rights movement when Aretha's classic song is attacked as offensive to trans women. Wow. Now I'm getting into the opinion piece here. This might surprise some of you, but I actually see where the trans women are coming from. Excuse me. He says, if I were a man pretending to be a woman, I would also find the term natural woman offensive. Imagine you're one of those mentally damaged cross-dressers, okay? You're standing there with a full beard in a skirt and high heels. Who wants to hear the Queen of Soul sing about being made to feel like a natural woman when you're hiking up that skirt while leaning against a urinal? Ha ha ha. I mean, he's telling the truth, All I'm saying is, can we show a little empathy here? He's being sarcastic, of course, you know that. The brave Kelly J. King, didn't stop her criticism of the fascist trans movement there. I don't think many women really know how much we're hated. I hate to say it. I don't have a victim mentality, but it's really hard to ignore the misogyny of this particular movement, she said, adding, it means a man who says he's frightened to go in a man's toilet, his words are more credible than a woman who says she doesn't want that man in her space. And that is exactly right. He says, and that is very well put. This isn't over nothing. A group of these despicable trans bullies in Norway is demanding Spotify and Apple Music to remove the song as well. So I'm going to stop right there. You guys can go to the description box below and type up the www.breitbartnews.com and type that up and look for the title of the article, and you can read the rest of the article on your own. But I had to stop there. I did read the entire article. It was pointed in your face, and I agree with 99.9% of it, okay? Now, here's my opinion on this whole thing. Number one, being a Christian, I believe in what we Christians call the spiritual realm. Okay. That's taken from the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 in the New Testament, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And what the Apostle Paul, in that particular letter that he was writing to the church at Ephesus, was trying to communicate to the Christians there in that church and to Christians of all time, is that the real battle is not what you physically see. The real battle is what you don't see. Now, what we don't see, I believe, is filled with demonic entities, principalities, powers, dominions, spirit beings that are extremely powerful, and that to some extent they either influence, manipulate, or control the three-dimensional realm that we live in. What's my point? My point is that these individual groups, these trans right groups, I believe, are tools of these demonic entities and demonic spirits in the invisible realm that are being manipulated and used to push an anti-God, anti-moral concept and worldview in order to get everyone in the world, psychologically and spiritually, to get everyone prepared for the man that's to come, whom Christians call and whom the Bible defines as the Antichrist. You can call him the Antichrist. The Bible also defines him as the man of sin, the little horn that shall come, the prince that shall come. All of these different titles are given to this one particular person who will have complete dominion over the world and absolute control over every human being on the face of the earth. That's in the Bible, book of Revelation, chapter 13. Read it for yourself. So that's what I believe. I believe that these groups are tools. They may not be aware of it, but I believe these groups, these transgender groups and all these extremist activist groups that are pushing things that in my view is immoral and satanic and evil are tools of Satan, tools of demonic entities in the unseen spiritual realm that is all around us. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out is that these groups are what Stalin called, no, I think it was Lenin, the communist dictator Lenin in Russia stated that these individuals are nothing more than useful idiots. By useful idiots, he means that these people may be idealistic in their attempts to bring about a utopian society. But what he was saying was that they are not aware of what socialism and communism, which is what he was, a hardcore communist, is really all about. It's not about bringing about a utopia. That's what they tell you. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell the mass of people. They'll say, we're trying to bring about a utopia. But what they really want is to bring about a total enslavement of every human being on the face of the earth. If you look at the history of socialism and the history of communism in particular, throughout history, it has brought nothing but destruction, death, and discouragement to the lowest degree of every human being that has ever been under those type of regimes. Ask a person that's been in a communist country, they'll tell you, which is one of the reasons why they flee here to America. Because so far, America has not become a communist country, although it's on its way there. But that's another story, and I'm not going to get into that. The attack Aretha Franklin's song Natural Woman is also an attack against common sense. Because if you read further in the article, as you read it, the group said that there's no such thing as a natural woman. If you read the rest of the article, it says there's no such thing as a natural woman. This is what they're saying. Now, really, to be honest with you, you say, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, it is a such thing as a natural woman. Yes, it is. It is a such thing as a natural woman. So one would have to ask the question, why would these type of radical groups and why would these politicians and radical groups say that there is no such thing as a natural woman? There's a reason for that. They know there is a such thing as a natural woman. They know that, in my opinion. Okay. But what they want to do is to confuse the masses. How do they do that? They continuously push the same phrase over and over and over and over and over and over again until people start to think, man, maybe it is something to what they're saying. Maybe what they're saying is true, even though your mind is telling you this is totally ludicrous, totally illogical, makes no sense whatsoever. We know it's not true, but maybe it must be true because they keep talking about it. They keep saying there's no such thing as a natural woman. Let me give you an example of how propaganda works. Adolf Hitler, a master of propaganda, he hired a man by the name of Joseph Goebbels. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Correct me in the comment box, but he hired a man by the name of Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels was the head of the Ministry of Propaganda in Nazi Germany. The purpose of Joseph Goebbels was to create a propaganda campaign that would demonize the Jews in Germany at that time, to the point where when it came time to completely eliminate the Jews, the German population would be like, yes, we need to do that. They need to be eliminated. They're nothing more than vermin. We need to get rid of them. How? How was they able to do that? Propaganda. Constantly repeating the idea to the German population that the Jews were beneath the Germans, the Jews were inferior, the Jews were the cause of the economic problems in Germany. We need to get rid of them. Propaganda. This is what Adolf Hitler said in a book he wrote called Mein Kampf. In the book, he stated that if you continue to repeat a lie long enough and often enough, people will believe it. And as I said earlier, the reason for that is because if you keep repeating something over and over again, people are going to start to think it must be some truth about it because you keep talking about it. But it isn't a truth. It's mind control. It's complete mind control. The purpose is to break down the psychological aspects, the mind, the spirit, the soul of the people that are listening to this nonsense. That's the purpose. And it's global. It's in other countries. It's in America. It's all over. That shows you that something nefarious is going on. When it's not just taking place in one country, but taking place all over the world, you know something is going on. The purpose is to destroy and tear down the American public, people in Australia, people in Europe, wherever you are, to tear you down psychologically, to tear you down spiritually. That's why it's important, in my opinion, for people to have a strong moral basis and spiritual basis. I mean, like strong. Because if you're not rooted in what is true, you're going to flow with every wind and doctrine that come your way. And you're going to give in to this temptation. You're going to give in to this big lie. That's what this is all about. That's what I believe this is all about. To ban that song, okay? And these people, let me end this video on this. These groups of people, these transgender men and so forth, I can't do nothing but pray for them. I'm serious. I mean, like literally, like pray for these individuals because they're gone. They're gone, man. Because a lot of these people in these groups are idealists, okay? And as Lennon said, and as I mentioned earlier, useful idiots, okay? They are not aware that they are being used by the elites behind the scenes and pulling their strings, financing their groups, telling them what to say, giving them ideas. They have no idea that the utopia that they want is not what it's really all about. Instead of a utopia, it's going to be the darkest dystopia, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, the world has ever known. That's what's going on. That's what's happening. That's what I believe they're pushing. It's a shame to attack this woman's song like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But you're going to see more of this. You're going to see more and more of this so-called cancel culture. You're going to see more and more of these radical leftists and radical liberals and radical communists and socialists and all. You're going to see more of that because they can't do it with guns in the West. So they have to do it through propaganda and manipulation and lies. That's what they're doing it through. That's what I wanted to say on that. That's just my spin on that. That's my opinion on that. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.